Got you.
So there was a dev interview for people working on Snake Eater Remake, and we got a lot of very promising information revealed. I pulled all of this from Coolbara357 on Twitter. Um, and they say almost all Easter eggs and gimmicks from Metal Gear Solid 3 OG will return to Metal Gear Solid Delta, which is interesting because there's a point in the game that was cut out of the version of the game that was released called I think Subsistence that added third person camera, controllable third person
Hmm.
camera versus the fixed camera, where there was essentially another game in the game that was like some hack and slash that was like a canceled game, but they shoved it in as like this fun little thing that you can interact with in the original game, but they cut it out. So maybe they're adding that back into this, which I never got the chance to experience it because it wasn't in the version that I played. So I'd be interested to finally experience that and all of its you know HD glory. Um,
That makes sense.
so they also say that the game is remade from scratch. As well. Characters as well as facial animations are created using data read from facial movements via facial capture. And Kurikata confirmed that there will be two games in one, legacy style and modern style, and that they both have different AI and cannot be changed mid game. Legacy style will have the AI of MGS3 original. So something I talked about when relatively early on when they started showing a lot more gameplay was I was a little bit upset that it was essentially the same game in a lot of ways, and I was afraid that the AI wasn't going to be different. But this confirms that the AI is different. They did upgrade the AI, thank God. But if you play in legacy style with the fixed camera, you were. It's very interesting. They basically made two games. You can just straight up play this game the way
Hmm.
that it was originally made. Um, or you could play it, as it's meant to be in terms of remake style with the over the shoulder camera. And that's dope as hell. And now I kind of want them to do it with every single remake. And I know that's unfair and probably unrealistic and it's probably not going to happen. But you did it once and now I want you to do it every time. You did this
Yep,
to
makes
yourself. I'm
sense.
sorry. You shouldn't have done it if you didn't want it to happen again. Now when you remake Metal Gear Solid 1, I need a version where I can play it just like the first one with the fixed camera. If you don't do it, I'm going to be upset now. This is your fault. You did this to yourself. But they also said that more remakes are to arrive, which was expected, especially if this does really well, which I expect it will. Which will require a lot of work. They specifically mentioned Metal Gear MSX, the original two games, and Metal
Ooh.
Gear Solid One, which is insane. And they say that if they are the ones that they choose, the structure of Metal Gear Solid Delta will not apply because like I said before, remaking Metal Gear Solid One would require a lot more work than remaking Metal Gear Solid Three because Metal Gear Solid Three is much closer to a modern game in the way that it plays versus Metal Gear Solid One, which is a PS1 game. So the fact that they brought up Metal Gear Solid, the MSX games specifically, which I in the last time we had this conversation, completely ruled out that they would remake those games at all. Completely changes my mind now. Now I'm almost like, okay, they're probably going to remake the original Metal Gear games, which chronologically take place before Metal Gear Solid 1, before they do Metal Gear Solid 1, which has me really excited. Because with those games, they will basically have to make new games. So now I'm like, okay, now we're going to see what this team is made of if they do
Right.
this. Like, I honestly wouldn't because my mind was like they would get there eventually, but it would be after remaking Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 4. That way they build up a lot of experience making Metal Gear games, and that way they feel a lot more comfortable making a brand new Metal Gear game, which they would essentially have to do with the remake of the original games. But now it sounds
Hmm.
like that might not be the case. So, we'll see. Um, let's see. They also discuss, future mass collection volumes, saying a mission to preserve Metal Gear for the future. Um, Okamura and Kurikata, directors on the game, reiterate that it is their mission to preserve Metal Gear by putting all games playable on modern consoles and PC for future generations. They realize that a lot of
Ooh.
people didn't know about Metal Gear, so that's their main reason. And it saddens me to hear, but it is true. It's a weird game franchise where it's incredibly popular for people who know about it, but it's a it's in this weird in between space where it's both incredibly popular and incredibly unknown at the exact same time. It's really weird.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
like so many people know of it, but not a lot of people have played it because it's just been hard to get access to them. But now they're making it a lot easier, which is dope. Um, I think we talked about last episode or episode before that, like how they mentioned like, hey, we're like trying to figure out how to get Metal Gear Solid 4 onto modern consoles because it's currently stuck on PS3. So like that's exciting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And lastly, they said Metal Gear Solid Delta is fully playable from start to finish. In terms of the dev cycle, the game's like done, but now they're polishing it.
Right.
And we want to finish it properly and announce it once it is in a state where it can be firmly confirmed. So it's probably not coming out this year. But maybe at the latest, probably spring next year, 2025. So
Hmm.
I want to be surprised. I want them to just be like, and it's coming out December. But that's probably not gonna happen. But I'm, I'm
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this. I'm really excited, and maybe you'll play this one and enjoy
Yeah.
it.
I mean, I'm enjoying the one that I'm playing right now, which names escape me, but it's just really hard. I'm
Yeah,
struggling. I might turn the difficulty down. And I think I'll get a lot more enjoyment out of it.
it's an old game. I don't blame. It could be tough getting into that.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's like I went into it like I'm a big dog. I can play it on normal mode. No.